After serving in the U.S. Army for over a decade during the global war on terror, I left the service in a mental health crisis. Psilocybin mushrooms helped me cope with PTSD, major depression disorder, and anxiety in a safe and long-lasting way. Welcome to my channel, the Medicinal Mushroom Medic. I'm Corey Roberts, and I'm here to talk about psilocybin.
Hi, and welcome to my show. This is my channel, Medicinal Mushroom Medic, and I'm Corey Roberts, and I will be talking to you about psilocybin. I hope to be covering this topic over a range of many episodes, but the idea is to give you bite-sized chunks of all the information you need, kind of your left and right limits, of what you can and can't do when it comes to mushrooms and their decriminalization for personal use in Colorado. As for anywhere else in the world that you may be tuning in to watch from, this might be a way for you to learn about what we're doing here and how that's working out and how it's going, and maybe that's an effort you can do in your state. As of right now, the western slope of Colorado is a great place to be, and I want to talk to you about this new Natural Medicines Health Act and what that means for you.
The Natural Medicine Health Act of 2022 adds Article 170 to Title 12 of the Colorado Constitution. What this allows us to do, and what I'm focused on really providing information for, is personal use of psilocybin and a number of other natural medicines. The Natural Medicine Health Act seeks to rectify the fact that Colorado is ranked last in terms of mental health care access and prevalence of mental illness. And what I mean by that is that we have a higher adult prevalence of mental illness with the least access to care. On top of that, our veteran suicide rate is through the roof. The national average suicide rate for veterans is already horrific. The national average of suicides in the United States for veterans is 31.7 out of 100,000. But the rate of suicide in Colorado versus the national average is 43.1 out of every 100,000. This is a staggering difference. We have the worst veteran suicide record of any state. Currently, psychedelics such as psilocybin is being studied and researched across the globe. What the research is showing us is that these psychedelics have more efficacy than our current accepted form of medication for mental illness and depression, such as SSRIs. With all that said, let's get to the nuts and bolts of this thing and talk about personal use, psilocybin, and other natural medicines. What are we talking about? What has been decriminalized? These are the specifics. We have psilocybin, psilocin, which is a derivative of psilocybin, DMT, which can also include ayahuasca, Ibogaine and Mescaline, as long as it's not from peyote. That is something we can cover later on why that reason is. Another very important aspect of this Natural Medicine Health Act is that it defines minor as someone under 21 years of age. This act applies to adults 21 years or older for any of the following. The Natural Medicine Health Act lays out that individuals aged 21 or older may possess, store, use, process, transport, obtain, ingest, gift to someone 21 years old or older the previous medications that I listed. You may note that the Act under personal use says purchasing under part of the verbiage. However, throughout the rest of the Act, it does specifically say without remuneration, and you may not sell to other individuals. In terms of guiding or assisting other individuals that are of age, this needs to be done at owned property, such as your property or their property, or someone you've had permission from to use their property. You can carry and transport the amount necessary to share with individuals that are of age. That's kind of loose. I would go under the assumption around 4 to 5 grams per person. In addition to decriminalizing natural medicines, this act also reduces criminal penalties for violating the laws that this act stipulates. Now, if you are convicted of any penalty in this Health Act, you will get a drug petty offense. And that along with it, requires 4 hours of drug education or counseling, and actually that comes at no cost to you. An additional civil fine of a maximum of $250 can be accrued for not securing access from minors. Some additional things that are common sense that may not be so common since we haven't talked about them yet. Do not operate motor vehicles. Do not bring these medications to a school, a detention facility, or a public building. Do not use it in public. And do not engage in dangerous conduct or in a harming manner to others while under the influence of these medications. Lastly, and definitely of utmost importance here, this law is a state law. Federal law enforcement officers enforce the federal law, which schedules psilocybin and these other substances as Schedule I drugs. That is a felony, my friends. Therefore, when we're talking about these medications and we're diving into this, we must always be aware of that we have no federal protections. This is only a Colorado law. Therefore, if you are traveling, transporting, stuff like that, you have to be very cognizant that you are not above the law and that they are only decriminalized at the state level. All right, folks, we've successfully talked about the Natural Medicine Health Act, at least in the context of personal use. There's a lot more to this act, and I really hope that you will do some research on your own, read this for yourself, see how that affects you personally, because there's multiple other things in here I haven't even talked about, and that may apply to you, especially if you have prior convictions using these medications, or you were looking into more the aspect of opening a healing center, and kind of getting down the timeline of how this act plays out over the next several years and developing an advisory board, etc., etc. All right, so I want to quickly tell you about what I plan for the next episode. Hopefully it excites you a little bit more. This is very much a, what can I do, what can't I do? It's just a way to get this conversation started, I suppose. Next episode, I want to dive into the basics of psilocybin. What is it, what the molecule is, what it does, what to expect. Is this the right thing for you? Is it the wrong thing for you? Is this something that you want to continue learning about and journey forth with me as we deep dive into this? I'm going to add some resources at the end of this video, which is now, and you can look at those and see the links. I'm also going to post the links down into the comment section below on the page or the video description, and then I hope you guys start talking about it and start thinking about this, and if this is right for you or if this is just something that you see is not needed in your life, which I appreciate both. So much love. We'll talk to you guys in the next episode.